it's Guido coming at you with a Tactics Talk, guys. Welcome back and thanks for tuning into this episode of World of Tanks. And it is moi in my T-37. Kind of a pretty good game here. We're on mines. It's an encounter battle and we spawned into the south. You know, I think of all the tank types, more and more, and it's been this way for a while, but more and more the scouts are probably my favorite. They're just harder to play. They can do damage, they can exploit openings, they do the assist thing, they've got the good vision, they carry their camo while they move. It's just the whole package of scouts, plus being harder to play. They're just more fun as far as I'm concerned, the mobility, the whole package of a scout. This is the T-37, it's one of the few scouts I don't have 100 battles in. Climbing up there, I think I'm about 60 or 70 or so, maybe up to 80 in this. The next one will be the A46. I'll buy that here in a day or so with the tickets from the last event there. But all that being said, scouts can be difficult for lots of reasons. One of them, the map. And you can see that we are here on mines. And often when you're playing a scout, you look at a map like this and go, well, great, there's not a whole lot I can do. We're going to look at some alternate options on mines. I used to be of the opinion, and I think largely still am, that you got to get the hill. Although it doesn't have to be immediately, you can retake the hill depending on how it goes. However, I backed off a little bit of just all thrust up the hill, and if I die, I move on. You know, the idea there used to be that, whatever, if I don't take the hill, it's going to be a slow grinding loss. What's the point? Well, not necessarily. So let's see how this one goes. I look at the lineup. We are kind of mid-tier here. Goes up to tier 7 with some tier 6s. And I decide from the south spawn, I'm not even going to bother. I'm kind of also looking at the tanks that we have, and it just doesn't look like we're going to have a really good push up to the hill. So I'm going to do something a little bit different. I'm going to come over here to the scouting spot, this bush. Now, if you're fast and you're spawned about where I was, you can get across to this bush and get into it. The problem with this is crossing this open spot if somebody gets up in here fast enough. But because it's a scout, and unfortunately I actually clipped that rock and just about get myself seen. And you can back in here and just do the scout thing. So I am going to facilitate damage by spotting this poor Type 58 who doesn't really know that he's spotted. Now he backs out there. Comes back out, and now he's just getting arty. And this is the thing that you gotta like about scouts. Now, I'm not a huge arty fan at all, but when you're playing a scout, it's really nice to have it. I hate to say it, but it is, because that kind of thing can happen. You can get up forward into positions and then facilitate damage, stunning and whatnot on tanks that otherwise are unhittable by your team. We can argue about whether that's a mechanic we would want in the game. Some do, some don't. Not really the point here, because we're just getting some assists. We're at 585, and I will admit I enjoy taking hit points off the enemy however it happens. So we're going to watch this go down for a bit, and we've probably got everything we're going to get out of that well, right? 58 decides not to get killed and backs out. The M10's not really pushing in. I'm not seeing anything happen. I'm also seeing that the hill has a problem. So remember we discussed the hill. We kind of had a push up there. Looks like the 43 and the Fury died pretty quick. There's a 1375 that's near dead. And this is the exploiting opportunities thing that scouts can do. Because I've got the camo and the speed, I can spin around here, and I'm not really worried about being spotted by the Panther. Although I'm not going to cut it close by the Panther M10 or the, what is it, Type 58, I believe. So good camo, good speed. I see an opportunity. The hill looks to be open based on what I'm seeing. Why? And this is part of being a good scout player, is looking at the match, reading the match, looking at where all the tanks are. The problem right now is there's a lot of tanks still on the board. One's dead, 3 of them are arty. So that's 4 off the board. That leaves 11 tanks, and I can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them. There's 6 tanks. But none of the tanks I see are TDs. My assumption is most of them are hanging out back in the back somewhere. And there's 1, 2, 3, 4 TDs. So I don't think there's much up here holding this hill, if anything. And I think with my speed, if I can avoid being seen by the 1375 early, which didn't work unfortunately, so we'll shoot him on the way in. See what I'm doing with my camera. We take one piece off, and that actually worked out really nicely. We'll come around here, we'll finish this dude off. Oh, we missed. That sucks. Looks like he does not have a clip, otherwise I would have been hit. He's probably reloading. We sneak right by, and now we've got the hill. So we've evened it up a little bit. It's 3-4. I'm going to tuck up here just to avoid getting shot either from the sniper nest, which is what I'm talking about, is right here in the north, because if you squeeze around this corner too far, they have shots through here. There is some cover and things, but they will shoot you. Say I came up here, spotted, and just kept on trucking, I could get hit a couple times even trying to go around this corner right here. The other thing I don't want to do really right now is get tucked up against these broken towers right here, trying to spot into the back, because this JPZ-4 will what's called proxy light me, which most of you know what that means. All that means is you're getting nice and close within 50 meters, and you will automatically get lit. So once I wait, I'm going to come around this corner. Now that we've got the hill, I do have to watch. Unfortunately for me, there's nobody on the ramp really watching whether somebody's going to sneak up behind me, so I do have to be careful about that. But for the moment, I have a pretty permissive environment up here on the hill. Just missed a shot on the T-29. He doesn't look like he wants to come around, so we're just going to wait here for a bit. I'm checking, cross-checking the mini-map, a little shot into him, every few seconds just to see if there's a light or someone's coming up behind me. Unfortunately, I'm probably not going to know someone's behind me until they start shooting me, because there's just nobody there to spot them. The T-29 dies. That was a good kill. JPZ-4 comes in there. He takes out the Hellcat. I wait for a few potatoes because I was lit. The reason I tucked up there, guys, is to avoid the artillery, because I was lit, and they can hit you while you're hanging off the back edge there. Wait a few potatoes there, up to about 10 seconds. Now that I'm dark, and I notice somebody is coming up. That's that dangerous position right there. I stopped just to make sure I got him dead. But as you can see, there are some lines of fire from that hill back there. From the hill back here where they can camp. So now I need to cross, and I did get lit, obviously, because he was right there in front of me. Cross over here, and again, hiding from artillery and hiding from the guys that are camping. I know the M10 is still out on the, or should be still out on the island unless he's moved. The EZ-8 was on a little backside. This little position right here is kind of a hill that they can crawl up on. There's a bush there that they can hide in, which is a decent spot. Not very offensive spot. I'm just going to take a quick peek, see if I can see if the M10 is there. And this is that scout thing, right? You're facilitating, you're using your vision, you're using your camo, you're moving around in positions, using bushes, trying to find where guys are. I'll just take an opportunity to shoot that guy. That was a bit dangerous. I'm really hoping that a TD wasn't ready right there to shoot me. So I'll back out of that, fortunately, without taking any damage. I do put a hit on the Hellcat. They're pushing in on the TOG and the WT and the Su-100. And now I'm thinking, man, I'd really like to get in behind them. So I do know that I can cross here, probably unspotted for a bit, but clearly once I get in this open area, I'm going to be spotted. And this tower will protect me to some extent from shots up here on the sniper hill, although artillery back here will be able to bomb me. But the point I want to do here, though, is get in here and do as much damage as I can. And then I just found a bunch of them. Like, whoa, okay. The whole team is pushing in there. So I really don't want to be hanging out here. Again, I'm hoping that a TD is not going to shoot me from up there. Thank goodness maybe the 122-44 either wasn't looking or didn't have a shot, so I'll just flex this way. The enemy team is really pushing hard into our guys that are capping. So we'll shoot him. And that was basically like moths to a flame. A little bit unusual that many of them came. And even the 304 wants a piece of the action. He goes raging in there. Gets killed pushing in. It was very strange, actually, what happened right there. They did need to do something, but I don't know. I guess the good news is that all of their guns went together. But it really helped us even it out, 8-7. So that seemed like it was going to be a loss. We're going to lose those position, so I'm just going to actually move around here and see what I can do, because if the red team jumps on the cap, I don't really care. Not right now. We have some time. There we go. So we kick the Artie in the teeth. He's trying to get away. We get rid of him. Now I'm looking back on, okay, I guess I need to kind of do something here. There is a 122-44, and then we've got this guy. So we got some time. It's still 50 seconds. Just keep working on these dudes. My guns are all over here with my team. Get him tracked. Try to kill him. There we go. Oh, look at that. The other Artie is now spotted. We have 40 seconds. See if we can get rid of this guy. This game is a lot about time and timing. And now I'm thinking, well, someone's got to do something about this. So let's come over here and see if we can't find one to get a shot on. And I'm going to probably have to come off this hill. Probably do it right here without killing ourselves. There we go. There are some ways to get off this hill without hurting yourself. M10 died to the Arty. Nice job on the Arty's part right there. And all we have to do is get rid of the Santa Mil and then deal with the 122-44. So we'll come around here, we'll auto-aim him. Just try to stay behind him. Avoid the Arty. We'll spin around. I actually turned my hull around so I'm not backing up. You're slower backwards. It's easier to keep behind him by going forward. 122-44 got a thump on me. That's about the first time he was able to finally track me down. There are some buildings here blocking, but I'm going to try to tuck into this little alleyway here to avoid getting shot again. The 122-44 reloads really fast, about 6 seconds, 6.5, depending on what they've got set up. So I really don't want to get shot by him again. So this building right here will cover me. He is spinning around. Looks like we got him tracked on that one. He fixes it, but we get him dead, and that works really nicely. So it's me, 3 artillery, and a P-43 TR. The P-43 TR has not done a whole bunch in the game. We're going to head off this way. Rather than push straight at the 122-44, there's no real reason for that. We have time. We have 8 minutes. Again, there you go. Mobility, exploiting weaknesses. There's no reason for me to go straight at him. I can come around the hill right here. I can climb right back up the hill, get that high ground, and start taking a peek in there. I can go to that edge of the hill, the north edge of the hill right here with those bushes, and cook off the binocs and start taking a look at where this 122-44 is. Maybe I can catch him moving around and even get a little more assist. I've got 1,000 assist and some change and 2,200 damage and some change. So we'll come in here. Just use these bushes to sneak up. There we go. And just like that, and I think the other guy spotted him. I don't think I did. That's unfortunate. He hides behind the rock. I'm thinking, P-43, don't just drive up into his face. But it actually does a pretty decent job here. Gets him lit. Pushes in there. I don't know if he actually bounced. He gets a shot on him too. That was pretty nice. Yeah, he did eat a shot. And then the guy decides to charge him. So that gives me an opportunity to shoot him in the side a couple times, or at least one time. Add a little bit more damage to 2,358, 1,218. Even bounced 135, got a little bounce in there. Took one really big hit from the 122-44, but in general avoided too much damage. And just a different way to handle mines other than rushing up to the hill. So remember, the hill is important. To win, you're probably going to need it more often than not, but you don't have to have it at the very beginning. If you can recapture it or use it later, that will work as well. It just depends on how the map flows, how the match flows. And this was just, I thought, a pretty good example of it, of doing it a little bit differently. It is mid-tier scouting kind of stuff in here. Some of the things I did is obviously a little more difficult if you're running, say, a tier 8 scout in a tier 9 and 10 battle. You can have a little more trouble because of the vision saturation, the accuracy of guns, etc., etc. But this was, I thought, a pretty good example of a little bit different way to scout and use mines, or to play mines. All right, guys, I appreciate you coming by. Thanks for all that. Hope you like what you saw. If you learned something and liked it, one or the other, I don't know, throw me a subscribe down there, and we will see you.